Well, good afternoon. Welcome to another forecast video. This is gonna be a video, like what we did, a couple weeks ago, where I was looking at what was Sunday's severe threat. But we're gonna do another of those videos today, not our usual forecast slide videos, just a whole discussion, semi-live about what's coming up today, tomorrow, and Thursday. So I'm gonna go and duplicate this tab and just show what things look like right now. The whole day free overview, and then we'll go to the national look. So you can see the next 8 days, next actual week. It's the next 7 days, but the next week for severe weather will go to today. We have an enhanced risk for portions of North Texas, West Oklahoma, and Central Kansas today. If we go to the tornado probs, a 5% tornado risk. Wind is 30% significant, and hail is the same, 30 sig. And then tomorrow, we have a slight risk for severe storms, portions of the Alabama Gulf Coast, Mississippi Gulf Coast, southern Louisiana, and southeast Texas. The cities included that are going to be Houston, New Orleans, Lake Charles, Baton Rouge, Mobile, Gulfport, Biloxi, those areas there, and also portions of Pensacola, Florida as well. And then we'll look at the tornado probs, a 5% tornado. In fact, I won't be surprised if this risk goes enhanced by 130. Maybe it might, but it might not. I don't see a whole lot of evidence that it may go enhanced, but we'll look at models and we'll determine that. Here is going to be the wind outlook, 15%, and hail is less than 5% all areas. Here is day 3, a slight risk. Portions of Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. There's a little bit of southeast Georgia that's in that slight risk. And the cities included this are going to be Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville. Looks like as well to be Wilmington and Charleston, and also Myrtle Beach. So those are the cities, and they're the probabilistic outlook. Can't speak. Is 15%. Tomorrow we'll get the 2 a.m. Eastern. We'll get the probabilities. I think I'm going to stay up for that. I might host a Twitter space. By the way, you should follow us on Twitter, where we'll post a lot of updates on there about the next upcoming few days. So again, those are the next 3 days, and the next 5 days are going to be relatively quiet. We think. We'll watch what's coming in the very long range in another time, but right now we're going to focus on the next 3 days. So let's go ahead and talk about today. I'll go ahead and go to the HER model and just look at the composite reflectivity with the updraft helicity. We can see storms initiating right around 9 o'clock p.m. Central. So it's going to be a nighttime sleeper event, it looks like. But we could have a QLCS line that develops, and then that's it's basically going to be kind of like what we saw on Sunday with the line evolution. The line seems to be holding together, and then moves off to the east. And of course, we'll watch what happens there in just a moment. But storms fire, then it moves on, and doesn't look like we'll have a very Doesn't look like we'll have a very serious tornado threat, but we'll check the surface-based cape, and we'll look at what we are seeing here. Let me go and turn down my mic just a little bit. Again, we have a really modest energy. Once this whole line comes through, we'll take all of that away. Because once you get ahead of it, you'll see that, of course, a little contaminated right there. But these storms should have enough energy, obviously, to survive in here. And we'll go and take a southeast look. In fact, it looks like that we might actually have this line go all the way through here. And this might be one concern for Thursday. as far as storms go, is just showers in the morning that may inhibit future storms. We'll see if that whole thing develops. We'll check the NAM first. In fact, I'll go ahead and look at the NAM on the oops. Look at the NAM. I keep saying that. Over here, it shows the stronger storms with maybe a few embedded supercells, more than what the HER does. Of course, the NAM is pretty common for this type of setup, but again, the NAM takes it a little bit stronger here. And as we go through Wednesday, it looks like Wednesday evening is going to be the prime time for Louisiana. So during the day, really timing for southwestern Louisiana is going to be Wednesday afternoon around 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And then for south central Louisiana could be around 5 o'clock. And southeast Louisiana by 8. And then it rolls through here. And then we have Thursday's event, which of course brings storms into Florida. How intense they will be is uncertain at this current time. We'll check surface-based Cape values, and we'll just pull some soundings here at random. Oh, wow, okay. Quite contaminated here, but the area I do want to look at is going to be that hodograph, which you see on the upper right. That's a classic supercell hodograph in a PDS to a possible hazard type. Not something I really generally look at to make forecasts, but good shear values, very good directional shear. Quite good speed shear. I like those shear numbers for sure. This will definitely support some ample tornadoes, but overall looking pretty good, even though it could be a linear event. And then we'll go pick some soundings here. In fact, I'll go in and pick a sounding in North Florida, in the Florida Panhandle. Pretty solid hodograph, a little bit messy there. In the 1 to 3 kilometer range. Okay shear at the low levels, I would say 27 knots. It could be a little bit better, but surface to 3 kilometer is pretty good. The bulk shear is 47 knots. That's the surface to 6 kilometer shear. But overall, a pretty decent look to that. And as we go for here, we'll go ahead and pull a couple more soundings. Pretty good hodograph, a little messy there, but that could also be due to a little bit of contamination as well. But overall, a pretty decent environment in this whole region in Central Florida, which is where I live. So that's why I'm picking a couple more soundings in this area, just to try to get a little bit more of an idea of what's going on. But a pretty solid environment. We think that we could see all severe threats possible. Maybe not in terms of hail, but wind and tornadoes will probably be the dominant threats for you, and that is what the SPC is mentioning. But one model I do want to take a look at just for the giggles is the HWR FV3. This is a pretty, I guess to me, a pretty hilarious model. And this model has a very supercell bias. It loves a lot of supercells, that's for sure. Even more than the HER. It's a major supercell printer. I really just look at this for eye candy, but I know we don't take this model very seriously, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, we don't have the HER quite in just yet. I think the 18Z is going to look a little bit better, but what concerns me, knowing what we see with 12Z, is that 12Z is notorious for downplaying events. We see it in practically all the models. 12Z is just not a good model. A good run for severe potential. Now, it does show stuff, and that, I guess that's reasonable, but normally 12Z is a major downtrending model, and that's concerning to see if 18Z is going to be even better. Usually 18Z and 0Z are one of the most prevalent models for severe potential. Now, I'm not saying this in terms of hype or whatever, but I'm just going off based of experience with these models, and we'll take a look at 060, of course. This one doesn't go out as far, but a little bit less severe action on a 060 run than the 12Z. I can probably compare model trend loop here. And I think we'll pull, let's see, what hour can we pull here? I think we can pull hour 40. We'll do hour 43 and just see how this whole thing has evolved. You can see 06Z has more storms, 12Z. Actually, sorry, 12Z has more storms than 6Z. We'll take a look at the overall surface cape, and we'll pull a sounding from New Orleans. How about that? Sounding from New Orleans. And yeah, pretty good sounding from New Orleans. Pretty good photograph, except for what's going on in the upper hills. Probably a little, maybe not too much contamination in there. But a pretty good sounding overall. We'll pull the 12Z run, and still pretty good. A little bit not as intense. But the photograph is a little more presentable. I gotta say. So I want to take a look at those shear values here, and shear was a little bit better at the 06Z run than 12Z. But I do want to take a look at, let's see, I want to go back here to, actually, can we go up forward? Of course, 60 is the only one then, actually. So we'll take a look at Florida here, and take a Lakeland-ish sounding, and 06Z, a little contamination in there. Actually, not just a little bit, a lot of contamination. 12Z is actually a lot worse on the photograph, and this is the same hour, the same time, well, not the same hour, but the same time. This is 18Z on Thursday. Definitely a lot better on the 06Z than what it had on the 12Z in terms of that photograph shape, and a little bit worse on the shear on the 06Z. The 12Z has a little better shear. Speed shear is not incredible. But definitely directional shear is a lot more well put together than that. So I think maybe we can pull a sounding from here. Pretty good photograph on there. Shear is pretty decent. So for shear, we're looking down here below the skew T-chart, which is what's on the upper left of the sounding, and yeah, we can take this, a PDS towards sounding, not that we really pay attention to that too much, but definitely a lot better photograph on the 12Z. Drier air in the upper levels, that is better for storms. Yeah, I mean, really, this whole environment is just pretty conducive, but we'll watch how this all plays out here. Of course, I can't go too much far. I can't really go that much farther out here. But yeah, so pretty favorable environment in here for storms, and we think that this whole area is definitely going to see just a very we'll go back to single image. We can go back to the forecast loop. Pretty favorable environment for the next couple of days across 7 plains in the southeast United States, and also we can't forget about the storms in the Carolinas as well. You can see that nor'easter as well. But then we're going to have the second system spawning severe weather, which is what we're watching today, and also what it's going to be affecting for the northeast states later on. So really just a very messy pattern as well. It's just instead of having it happening in the central U.S., is occurring here in the southern U.S. So for sure, definitely a pretty interesting event. So here's what I want to look at. This is, in fact, I actually want to take the European first. Let's go and look at the regions. See if we can get southeastern United States. I want to take the temperatures here and just kind of look at, since a pretty strong front, look at how the temperature is going to evolve here behind this whole front here. And see the whole cyclone spinning here. In fact, the European has it so warm. We'll take the GFS. It goes a little farther. Man, it just looks like everything's just spinning. That is just crazy. But this is as the whole front is moving by. The temperatures will cool off a little bit. Definitely a little bit cooler for the southeast United States as that whole front passes through. And then here comes the cooler air. Of course, this is going to be out. This is going to be November 1st. So definitely a little farther out. We're starting to enter into voodoo land, but looks like we could be entering into a much cooler pattern. But one thing that we will see definite change is going to be the dew point. That's really going to be our most prevalent change here. It's going to be our dew point. So moisture levels will drop significantly as we go through the timeline here. And we'll see much drier, much more pleasant air throughout this weekend and into next week. So definitely a change, but temperature change may not be that impressive. This front might not work as far south as expected, so maybe a little bit weaker in the in South Florida, and that's going to be the thing. If this front's going to weaken, that will lower severe storm potential for Central and South Florida. If this front is weaker, if this front can hold together and can be stronger, then that will increase storm potential and bring cooler air behind that front. But we're still in October, and this isn't usually a time of year where we get these really strong fronts where, where ahead of the front you get 70, 80 degree temperatures, and behind the front it'll drop down into the 50s and 60s here in Florida. So it's not that time of year yet. That doesn't come till November, December, and then goes all the way through February and early March. But it is a taste of fall, and we're gonna certainly feel that here, and it's gonna be a nice welcome change with the dew points, drier air. We're tired of the mugginess, that's for sure. So that's one thing to be mindful of. But it looks like tropical weather as well is quite the quiet. I just want to take the European ensemble, and I just want to look at the Oceanic and the Atlantic Basin here. We'll talk about tropics while we're at it, just to look at the next few days here. And it's going to be very quiet for tropics the next few weeks, maybe for the rest of the season. We don't know yet what the rest of the season is going to look like, because we still have November to go through, and whether November is going to be loud or quiet, we don't know that yet. But it could be a pretty quiet rest of the season. We could have just ended the season right there at Victor, and who knows? So of course we'll keep monitoring things day by day, week by week, and all that, and we'll see what happens. But currently no favorable tropical development except for this nor'easter, which is subtropical. This is a subtropical storm, not a fully tropical system. So whether it gets named or not is going to be questionable. I hope the NHC does not name this thing. That's really just like Anna. Come on, you right? Or is it Anna? I don't care how it's pronounced, but anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. I just want to give a quick little chit-chat about the severe potential across the south, and also the tropical potential. We'll be covering this day by day, hour by hour on our YouTube channel and on Twitter to discuss all of that's going on. So definitely stay tuned, get subscribed, and get followed on Twitter so you are up to date on the latest severe info that we have. That's going to be all for today's video. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more future content. And we'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day and have a great week. week.